people have questions and I'm happy to answer them. The past few months I've been saving random questions I've had, ones that you've put in the comments, and ones that I've seen online, so that I can compile the answers into this little video for you. This first one actually comes from the comments of my last video, so thank you to the person for leaving this comment. But basically they ask, what is the little pocket in pants for? And the answer actually goes back as far as the 1800s when jeans were first invented. These were the pants for the working man, and so they included certain features that they think those people would find useful, which includes the tiny pocket, which at the time was used for pocket watches. As pocket watches faded out, companies started to promote it as a space to hold your lighter or other small items. But especially nowadays, I don't know of a single person that has a pocket watch, so why do we still have them? Companies now use this little pocket as a nod to the original design and to kind of separate themselves and make it feel more luxury or high quality. It's mostly just a symbol of the high craftsmanship and intention that went into the jean, as opposed to really serving any particular purpose nowadays. You can still hold stuff in it, I'm sure, but I hope that answered your question. Now, before we get into this next one, I'm going to admit that I know this is a rhetorical question, but I wanted to look up the answer to it, and so I figured I might as well share it with you guys as well. But this comes in a tweet, which is where someone was asking, what culture is this? And then they attached a video. And the answer I found, because this is obviously not a part of my culture, I do not have any personal experience with practices like this, but I'm pretty sure this is called surfi whirling, which is a subset of Islamic cultures, specifically a part of a religion called Sufism. And the reason I don't know if this is specifically what it is called is because in the traditional videos and descriptions of surfi whirling, it has usually been an individual thing where an individual is standing and spinning in a circle. You know, sometimes they'll be in groups, but they are all spinning individually as opposed to moving in a circle as a group. But I could not find any other answers. So if you do know more on this, please let me know in the comments below. But from what I found, this practice is kind of a form of meditation, where the simple repetitive movements allows you to kind of disconnect with your body and mind and instead focus on Allah and prayer. Essentially, it's a group meditation and prayer. And now I included a rhetorical question in my first video too, and the reason I do this is because while these usually rhetorical questions, especially posted on social media, are used to either garner hate or just kind of like create a viral moment for the user, viewed on by hate, of course, or by people being mad at them for trying to hate, I think it's still important to explore these things because I did not know about Sufism and surfi whirling before this video, and so it's just kind of a chance to learn something new, and instead of leaning in to their hatred or their bigotry, we are able to just use that as curiosity. So if you do find rhetorical questions of people being mean, I either urge you to send them to me and I will post another video about it, or to look it up on your own and get a bit curious instead of getting hateful. Now, okay, this next one comes from personal experience, and this is just a question that I wanted answered because I was flying recently, and you know, at the beginning, if you've ever been on a plane, you might remember them saying before takeoff and landing that your seat and tray table have to be in the upright position. And I thought, why? And the short answer to that is safety and the law. It is mandated by US federal air regulations to have your seat upright and your tray table in its upright position. And that's because those are the conditions that safety testing and emergency training of a plane has been tested under and passed under. And so having your tray table down or your seat lean back a little bit could mess up with those numbers and make it less safe. First off, apparently your chair is only locked in position when it is upright. So if you are leaned back even slightly and something happens to the plane, you will just catapult forward. You won't be held in place because your chair will be flying forward and then you'll fly forward with it. And it also opens up more space for the people behind you to be getting out in case of an emergency situation. And you might think that is a very small amount of space. How could that make the difference? But like I said, having it upright is a conditions that it has been tested under and passed under, and even deviating that on a little bit is just like not worth it. But also some of these safety and federal regulations don't just come from testing, but also past disasters. Specifically, there was one flight I found that had many problems leading up to it, but especially the trays being down and the seats being back led to a lot of stress and a lot of chaos in trying to deplane everyone. So it's not like the plane is going to blow up if you have your tray table down or your seat back a little bit, but it is more so it will not be in its optimal safety standards. Now this last one is another one that comes more from my personal experience, but also just a lot of anecdotes online. Like I see people talking about this, but I don't see people asking why. So we're going to get into the why. But let me play out a scenario for you, okay? The other day I was making a smoothie. I had cocoa powder, I had honey, I had milk, I had yogurt, I had strawberries, I had blueberries, and then I had like 2 slices of frozen banana. And I decided to put the frozen banana in it as well. And guess what it tasted like? Of course. And why do we all know that it would taste like banana, even though banana is the smallest portion of that smoothie? Like, why is that a common fact and a common just like norm in society that like you put banana in anything and it's gonna overpower it? Why do we all just like laugh at that as a common joke, but not explore why? So we're gonna get into the science. And there's kind of 2 parts to this, in the fact that smell plays a large part of our taste, and then also the chemical compounds of bananas, specifically after ripening. Those 2 things combined give it a really overpowering taste. I'm not a scientist, so I don't know the full chemical analysis here, but basically, when a banana ripens, the enzymes break down. And when they break down, they create a new chemical makeup called ester. And ester is a chemical or a compound that has a specifically strong smell to be able to attract pollinators. So essentially, banana breaks down. In the process of breaking down, it is trying to attract pollinators, because typically when it is just like, it's still on its little banana tree, that's its goal, is to reproduce more bananas through pollinators. And so the smell changes in order to try and draw more animals in. And because most of our taste is actually just smell, when we smell how strong the ester is in banana, we taste how strong it is as well. I actually didn't look up the full science behind why smell is such an important part of taste, but if you want me to look that up for part 3, please let me know. And this chemical breakdown process into ester happens in other fruits as well. It is just prevalent in bananas more so than other things. But those are all the questions that I'm going to be answering in this video. If you have some or you see more on social media, either put them down below or you can tag me on social media where you see them. My name is Haley's Forest across all platforms, and I will be sure to answer them in part 3 whenever I get around to that. But thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one.